So today I want to talk a little bit about anxiety and how I overcame it in boxing, and how that same process I could use in my life, and it's worked incredibly. So anxiety generally comes from a fear of something in the future, a worry about something in the future, and this worry is a fantasy. It's a fantasy of something in the future. I heard a quote recently that said by Dr. Demartini. He wrote, fear is nothing but an addiction to fantasy. And I love this because it takes away the power of the fear or the anxiety. It's just a fantasy. Now, obviously, anything other than this moment is a fantasy. It's either a past or a future fantasy. The past one may have actually happened, and the future one may happen, but it's still not reality. This is reality here. We're here now. Now, all anxiety generally stems from a worry or a fear in the future, and it's easy to do this in boxing. So I was always, when I first started boxing, I was, what if I am not fit enough for the fight, or I get knocked out in front of the crowd? And this brings up a lot of anxiety, clearly, as it would. You get hurt, there's fear, there's all this stuff. So what I began doing was a mental process before every fight, which was one, what do I want? And I'll get quite specific with this. Not only I want to win the fight, obviously, but I want to win each exchange. So I'd run through and visualize how I want each exchange to go, and if this happens, and I would run through and basically fight the fight before I even fought. I'd fight it many times. So we can do this with a future event. It could be a date or a family gathering, or I don't know, whatever you're anxious about, and visualizing it going the way you want to, visualizing how this will happen and this. If you want to go that far, or you can just visualize 15 minutes past the successful completion of what it is you're anxious about. Just that alone helps shift the anxiety, because we're focusing on then what we do want. And number two, was important as a boxer, and I think is important in life, is what do I control? So too often we get caught up on what we can't control, and with that brings a lot of stress. So as a boxer, I couldn't control the crowd or the other fighter. I can control myself, my defense, my punches, my mind, and I could relax into what I wanted and what I can control. And when I built a boundary around only focusing on them and getting clear, focused, I could relax in, that's all I have to worry about. That's all I have to worry about, and just them two things. What do I want, what exchange, and what can I control? And when we apply this to life, I can apply this to other parts of my life, and it really helps. And obviously I get anxiety at times, and when things come up, and I consciously put this practice onto it, and it's been super helpful. So I hope it helps you.